Hey there, listeners. Today's episode is from our live show at the Comedy Cellar on Wednesday night. It was an absolute blast, so I want to say a big thank you to everyone who came out, played games with us, asked questions, laughed along. It really felt like a community. What you're about to hear is a preview. Paid subscribers get access to the full hour-and-a-half long show and the video as well. If you're not already a paid subscriber, this is your moment. We've got a 20% off discount running right now on annual subscriptions. That means just $5 a month to get twice the number of episodes, access to live shows like this one, and more. And the discount runs in perpetuity. So as long as you stay subscribed, you'll lock in that $5 a month rate. To take advantage of that, head over to gdpolitics.com. Again, that's gdpolitics.com. Hope to see you there. All right, here's the show.
Welcome. We've got a great show for you tonight, but please first help me welcome to the stage Galen Drew, Clare, Malone, and Nate Silver.
Hi.
Guys, I wanted to talk about Hantavirus, but I'm afraid that the last time we made jokes about a pandemic together in person, it was our last 538 Politics podcast that we ever did together in real life on Super Tuesday of 2020. So I'm afraid of what might happen if we go down that road.
We did shut down the office a day before Disney guidance. I'll have you know, we were totally on top of it.
You were really,
Leadership.
I remember sending Slack messages telling people not to eat the communal cheese that had been left out. That's my thing.
Lysol it first, you know? You
That's
gotta
right.
wipe it down, that in the mail. All right. Hello and welcome to tonight's live show at the Comedy Cellar in New York City. I'm Galen Druk. How's everyone enjoying spring in New York City? Yeah. How's everyone?
And the Knicks.
And the Knicks. And how's everyone enjoying the fact that Zoran just announced he's not raising property taxes? Oh, we got some booze. We do. It sounds like we have some property owners in the audience. Congratulations. That's a big deal. You do? Okay. There you go. Well, we've got a big show for you this evening, and joining me to do it is New Yorker staff writer Clare Malone. Give Clare a big round of applause. And founder of Silver Bulletin, Nate Silver. Yeah, Nate.
I wooed myself. Bad karma.
And most importantly, we have a sold-out crowd at the Village Underground at the Comedy Cellar in New York City. Give yourselves a round of applause. Yeah! I think I lost track, but this is the 6th or 7th one of these that we've done, and it's a lot of fun for us. Hopefully it's also fun for you. And so we just want to say a big thank you for coming out and making this all happen. It's been a blast. The first one we did was about a year ago.
A year ago.
Yeah, a year ago now. And this is also the moment I'm going to take to say, if you ended up in the audience tonight expecting a comedy show, this is a live taping of a politics podcast. All jokes that you see on stage tonight are incidental. They are not promised. You're welcome to stay, but just be warned, I'm sure you can get a refund if you came thinking you might see, I don't know, Louis C.K. or something like that tonight. So on the docket tonight, we're going to kick things off with Hot Take Hat. We will choose some topics at random, some buzzy topics at random. I'm thinking Trump in China.
Deep plane facelifts.
Ozempic.
That's right, things like that. Ozempic's not hot anymore.
Yeah, I know. That's so 2 years
It's
ago.
over.
We're thinking gas at 450. We're thinking that $1 billion ballroom. And also, the World Cup is coming to New York City. Actually, sorry, guys. It's coming
East
to
Rutherford.
New Jersey. Yeah. MetLife Stadium, baby. Next, we've got election updates. You might have heard that after rulings in the U.S. and Virginia Supreme Courts, it's looking like Republicans are going to be the net winners of the redistricting wars after all. Maybe Nate will even give us a preview of his midterm forecast. How's it coming? How's it coming along?
You know, I can give you a preview of the World Cup forecast, yeah.
Okay, all right, we'll take it. And lastly, we have a brand new game for you this evening, which is True or False Crosstab Diving Edition. So, for example, non-college educated men are more likely than college-educated women to identify as bisexual. Audience, true or false? False. I promise The actual ones will be, bisexuality hates to see a college-educated woman coming. Truly, they've made it so that there's this fear of a social contagion. They're like, oh my God, 20% of America is LGBTQ, and it's all bisexual college-educated women who date men in real life. Identity erasure. Sorry. How's that? Shall we dive in?
Yeah, let's do it.
And then, of course, we will have audience questions at the end. So to start, I think we're going to need some audience participation. I have the hot take hat topics in this. I should put GD politics.
Never miss a brand opportunity.
Dad cap, you can't actually get them right now. They're not on sale, but they'll go back on sale,
in the
around
fall.
the midterms,
Yeah.
in the fall. But subscribe, like and subscribe. Okay, what's your name? Rohan. Would you like to participate? Sure. Okay, here you go. Labor rebels against Keir Starmer. Ooh, a really spicy one to begin
Are
with.
we time limiting these?
Yes.
Okay.
I think should we? Okay, let's do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We thought about bringing yellow cards and red cards
Yeah.
for violations, but we're not quite on the World Cup moment.
But in toto, we all get 90 seconds.
So it's 90 seconds. Who wants to start?
I do. My take is that no one gives a shit about the UK. That's my...
Okay.
I know you have a more nuanced take.
You've got 80 seconds to spare. Nate, would you like to steal?
No, I give a shit to the extent that it's an interesting comp for the United States. Apart from our friends to the north, Canada, probably the most similar country, right? And it's nice to have a friend who's even more fucked up than you are, right? How many prime ministers is this going to be? I mean, he's not going to remain, right? How many prime ministers is going to be within a 6-year span?
It's going to be. They've already had 4 and 4,
But
so it's going to be 5 and 4.
How actually important is the UK, Nate? If this were Germany, it would be more important.
Oh, no.
Yeah, I'm going to say it. If it were a couple other European nations, I think it would be more important.
When was the last time you heard much about Germany? Germany's declined in impact. I like Germany, but France is ascendant relative to Germany and I think culture and other things.
I mean, the UK is a state that's made itself a little bit of a open arms for dirty money, and I think we should treat it with a lot more skepticism than we actually do.
Claire,
This is the Irish woman on the stage talking.
Yeah.
Irish American. But yeah, 2 ethnicities that are working against some British.
But look, I think the constant tilt against whoever's in charge in the UK is at least mildly informative for the United States. If we ping pong, I'm still going to take from a friend. If we ping pong back and forth between different parties for 5 or 6 elections in a row, it wouldn't shock me. That's what's happened in the.
No, we need a
You're taking too much pride out of.
klaxon. It needs to be like.
Okay, I have a
Finish your point.
No, but the fact that it's people don't realize that there's no such thing anymore as an incumbency advantage, really, right? In a world of perpetually high inflation and perpetual dissatisfaction with the status quo and social media and AI, it's an incumbency disadvantage, really.
Yeah, I mean, to me, it's just kind of Biden 2.0. You look at the issues in the UK right now, it's immigration, cost of living, and perceived weak leadership. I mean, it's kind of exactly what happened to the Biden administration. And I think that if Democrats are in this moment talking about how they want to get back into power, they should be considering that post-2020, there has been a significant penalty for being the incumbents, in particular when it feels like the world is out of control, and in particular when the cost of living is rising. I think that sort of this idea of we just need to get into power and that's going to solve all of our problems because, the far right or whatever will have been defeated is wrong. Because if you want to know why Keir Starmer is imperiled right now, it's because of local elections last week. And the Labour Party in England lost about 1,500 local seats. And the Reform Party won almost 1,500 local seats. And that's a party that has 8 members in parliament, right? And the Reform, for those uninitiated, is the sort of right-wing nationalist populists in the UK. And so I think this idea of we just need to vanquish the opponent, and that is sort of our goal in totality, is wrong.
Well, but if you know you're not going to be in power very long, you might as well do as much as you can in the 2 years that you have, right? I mean, that's how Biden behaved. It's certainly how Trump has behaved, right? None of this is terribly popular or durable.
We're really throwing the 90-second limit to the wind at this point. But I think that that's a great strategy if your underlying argument is not democracy is imperiled. If your underlying argument, like Joe Biden's was, that if Republicans win the next election, we may not have a democracy anymore, throwing caution to the wind and legislating like you might never have power again is a pretty crazy thing to do. And it makes your central argument of like, we're trying to save democracy totally unbelievable to the masses.
Or you ceded that we no longer have a democracy and you're playing by the new rules.
I mean, perhaps, although I would argue
that's the cynic's take. It's like Hakeem Jeffries is in some ways leaning into this by saying like, we're going to fight, what did he say, total warfare? Or like, we're going to fight the Republican redistricting with total warfare. That's like, not a particular, neither side has a particularly democratic ideal.
Claire, it's the game theory equilibrium.
Well, I think maybe we'll get further into this later on in the show, but like, people will be unsurprised to hear that for me, it probably means building as broad a coalition as possible, and not sort of throwing firebombs. Anyway, Rohan, can we use your help again? Hantavirus.
Bad.
Wait, is that, we got cheers for Hantavirus? Clap for Hantavirus. Who has a take?
Against.
Yeah. I am also against. It has been interesting to watch from a media perspective the way everyone has covered it. I was not freaking out about hantavirus until every media outlet was like, don't freak out about hantavirus. It's not COVID. And I was like, was this a problem or did we kind of create this mania? And I kind of think we created this mania. It seems like it's, not that many people are cruising along the remote coast of South America. It's obviously a tragedy. It's weirdly been in the news over the past year because what's his face? His wife died of hantavirus in New Mexico.
Yeah.
Gene Hackman.
Yeah.
But I wasn't really worried about hantavirus, and then every single media outlet was like, content. And I kind of think they created a little bit of a panic. It's like how I now think that like all weather systems where they're like, what is it, like the dump.
The super El Nino.
Yeah, the dump tornado snowstorm. And it's like, it's all manufactured content to like make us just worried about a blizzard. And I kind of felt that way about hantavirus. Crazy? I don't know. That's my hot take.
There we go.
I mean, it seems like we should just probably ban cruises.
Okay, all right. We'll take it. Rohan.
It wasn't even 90 seconds, Galen.
Iran war stalemate.
Bad.
Ooh. For or against?
I guess I'm for a stalemate versus an outright war. I don't know. Look, I'm not a foreign policy take guy. I do think this has been the biggest inflection point in either of Trump's two terms as far as his approval rating goes, right? Like, he really seems to be crashing through a floor, and like, usually you have a decline and a rebound, and like every day it like gets, not every day, but like every 2 weeks it like declines by another point or something like that, right? There's a lot of dissent within the Republican Party very much. I mean, it's like, it's so canonically fucking stupid, right? Like, never get in like a land war in Asia and never get into
an air war in Persia.
Yeah. And the fact that like J.D. Vance is like not openly, but like in contrast to Kamala Harris, right? Everyone knows that J.D. Vance is like trying to position himself as like anti-Iran war, and the fact that all these Republican influencers, I hate that term, right?
But there was a really, interestingly sourced article yesterday in the Times that was basically like, hey, we do not, it was written by like Adam Entus, who covers intelligence, and then Maggie Haberman and I think Jonathan Swan, which indicates intelligence sources and also political sources, maybe J.D. Vance, who knows. But it was basically like, actually, the Iranians' missile capacity has not actually been hurt by the war, and
to the degree claimed.
To the degree, yeah, they don't have access to 3 missile launcher sites. They have access to 30. And I found it actually pretty stunning. Like, and it was basically just like, they didn't use the word lying, but that the administration has really been lying in their public proclamations about their war. And I did feel like it had a little Vancian valence on it, just putting on my sort of like detective hat of who would leak that kind of stuff. So I guess, yeah, a stalemate is better than what did Trump say on Easter Sunday?
Annihilate a civilization.
Correct.
To me, this has changed this year's politics. Like when Venezuela happened right after we got back from the holidays, it was one of those things where we're like, whoa, this is a big deal. But will we be talking about this by the midterms? And this is one of those things where it provides Democrats just two big openings. One is the personal finances piece, which we've learned voters care first and foremost. You know, like if prices are rising faster than wages, which they just started doing last month, you're going to have hell to pay as the incumbent party. And people haven't gotten over the degree to which prices rose over the past 5 years already. And now we've reversed the trend again into prices rising faster than wages. The other one is like, this is kind of what people hate about politics, which is when we talked about this last time, it was a few days into the war and Megyn Kelly had sort of launched into the MAGA civil war against Trump and saying that, you know, this is hypocritical. He said that he wasn't going to do this kind of stuff. And for the marginal voter, for the voter who thinks like all politicians are the same, they all sort of feed us a bunch of bullshit while they're campaigning, and then they have the same foreign policy and they just help the rich people and they all go to war. Like, those were the voters that Trump got to turn out for him and involved in politics in 2016 that were new for the Republican Party. And he's kind of, with this move, like flipped them the bird a little bit. Like, I think it's more than anything to the hypocrisy. And I know people are used to like calling Trump a hypocrite and whatever, but I think this cuts deeper.
It's like, what is this accomplishing, even for like the MAGA coalition in particular, right? It's like old neocon goals. He explicitly promised like gas prices are going to come down, no more Middle Eastern wars. It's just very strange as like an early adopter of
it's
Biden.
John Bolton's.
Well, no, like as an early adopter of like Biden's
John Bolton's dream.
But like also like I don't know if he's like losing his command. I don't know if he ever had his command, right? As like an early adopter of like Biden was too old, which he was, right? Like I do wonder a little bit, like, you know, one thing that you get when you get older is that it's harder to push back effectively against bad advice, right? You get really cranky.
Do you find that? You get cranky.
Claire. I'm on my fucking peak here. You're talking about the Tom Brady of fiscal modeling right here.
All right.
Nate does not eat strawberries or tomatoes.
Rohan,
that's a
you're going to have
deep
to break this up for us.
When will Nate Silver become a better poker player?
Oh, no.
Wait, Rohan came to
Rohan's
fight.
come throwing heat.
The Trump ballroom.
The Trump ballroom.
I think reprehensible that he turned an assassination attempt into a discourse about the ballroom. And it's bad that private donors are contributing to the ballroom in sort of an explicit pay-to-play. But, like, I'm not against a ballroom.
That's my take. I'm all for beautification, right?
Well,
like
but then is it going to be beautiful? I mean, in matters of taste, there's no accounting, but like, well, let's account for it. He doesn't have good taste, right? So it's not going to. I mean, I'm worried about the.
Yeah, I mean, will it be proportionally sized?
But theoretically, what's wrong with the ballroom?
Nothing.
Nothing.
And also, there's nothing wrong with making DC beautiful. I wish somebody would come to New York and be like, let's clean this shit up.
Again,
let's make this place beautiful.
Is he making DC beautiful? I don't know. Nate, you have to be against the ballroom now. Are you against the ballroom?
I'm for it's to have a large event space on the White House grounds probably makes sense. Look, I'm against it in the sense that like anytime someone talks about the ballroom, I'm like, what the fuck? Aren't there supposed to be important things,
Yeah,
right? Aren't you saying that, like, fucking democracy? That's why I'm a fucking sports fan, right? I know that whether the New York Knicks beat the Cleveland Cavaliers or Detroit Pistons is utterly fucking irrelevant to the long-term future of civilization, but it's probably, like, 1,000,000 times more relevant than the Trump fucking ballroom, right? That's why I'm a sports fan. I have hobbies and interests that aren't politics, thank God.
I do want to say, because we've shared our opinions don't align with Americans on this.
They say no.
The ballroom has been 30 points under. It was 30 points underwater when they first broke ground last fall. And the Washington Post ABC went back to voters after the assassination attempt, and it was still exactly 30 points
I mean,
underwater.
there was no reason to build it.
Right,
like,
exactly.
It's obviously
like,
massively
Americans
stupid.
are not convinced. They're not interested.
This reveals like a dirty little secret about no fucking normal person cares about the ballroom, right?
There you go.
Polls oversample on people who are politically engaged and informed, and like when you ask like some complicatedly worded question about like some obscure piece of policy, right? Like polls are like a little bit more opt-in than people want to acknowledge.
Okay, so now we're going to go audience picks for the final three. We've got Trump goes to China. Applaud if you want us to talk about this. Smattering.
It's pronounced China.
China. The World Cup comes to America.
They seem about the same.
Inflation rises to 3.8%, gas at $4.50. Wow, people, we have a really pro-inflation crowd this evening.
I'm telling you, in a month, all you're going to be thinking about is the World Cup and subscribing to Silver Bulletin's World Cup forecast. But like, we got time. I'm going to play the slow game here.
So who wants? I think inflation is the choice.
Don't you mean?
And that's the end of today's preview. Like I mentioned, the show lasted for about an hour and a half. We did talk about affordability. We also talked about the midterms, the recent gerrymandering cases, and what that all means for the fall and beyond. We played True or False Crosstab Diving Edition as promised, which, if I do say so myself, was a hit. The audience got to play as well. So who won? Was it Nate, Claire, the wisdom of the crowds? Go to gdpolitics.com to become a paid subscriber and find out. And of course, we also finished with some very smart questions from that crowd. To catch the full episode and the video, head to gdpolitics.com. As I mentioned, we've got a 20% off discount running right now on annual subscriptions. That's just $5 a month, and you can lock in that rate as long as you stay subscribed. Again, head over to gdpolitics.com and become a paid subscriber to access twice the number of episodes and more. See you there.